The time has come once again where we have to decide 2015 Mr. Football winner. And so we obviously got together, picked our final four. We need to do it again. Performance throughout the year is the first category. We do have a system. It counts for 30%. Since we have four candidates, I want to get your four in order.
Well, after the Division II state final, you can't go against Donnie Corley.
And every time I look at this list, I always come back to Tristan.
I think Tristan Jackson had an incredible year also.
I got Donnie Corley #1. His performance throughout the playoffs was phenomenal.
Going to go Donnie Corley in my finals estimation.
I have Donnie Corley.
Donnie Corley, in my opinion, was won this award in the playoffs with what he was able to do.
Donnie Corley is going to win performance throughout the year in our final Mr. Football 2015 vote. That is our first category. We are now talking about level of competition. This accounts for 20% of the final vote.
I think it's hard to go against Donnie Corley at #1 for that. Faced Cass Tech twice. He faced East English Village Prep twice. He faced the defending Division II state champions to open the season, Warren De La Salle, and then obviously as he went on in the playoffs, he had to face a lot of top competition, including Lowell, who came very close to knocking King off.
I said all along that King played the toughest schedule, so that's a no-brainer to me.
Ryan Terpstra.
I agree with everybody that Detroit King was the #1 team in terms of strength of schedule in this one, especially with my boys from Lowell representing very strong in the state final.
Obviously, we got King #1.
I'm going King 1.
I'm actually going to mimic yours.
I'm going to go Donnie Corley and King #1.
Level of competition, that category goes to Detroit King, and it's in a landslide. Des Fitzpatrick, Waterford Mott, won the online vote. That automatically put him into our final four regardless of if we went through any of these categories. He's in. And it also means, because he's the people's champion, that he has a 20% advantage over everyone else, meaning he has an extra 20% that lifts his stock up in the overall picking.
Let me just say
Mr.
one thing.
Yes.
For a program that really has very little football tradition, Waterford Mott fandom is rabid.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was.
They loved themselves some Corsairs football, so it's not shocking that Des won the fan vote.
Big game performance. This accounts for 15% of the overall vote in choosing this year's Mr. Football 2015.
Again, you just can't go against Donnie Corley.
Corley, because of his performance in state championship game, you can't get a bigger stage than that.
Yeah, I have to agree with Donnie Corley. Every single playoff game, when you score a touchdown in every one of those games, you can't argue with that in terms of big game performance.
I could say about Corley.
Okay.
Second half, make it short and quick for me.
I'm with you. Donnie touchdown for me, no question about it.
I'm actually mimicking you again.
Wow.
Donnie Corley.
Scott Bernstein, you will finish us off.
Yeah, I'll go Corley 1. That's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Donnie Corley wins the category of big game performance, which accounts for 15% in our Hungry Howie's Mr. Football 2015 decisions. Team success now, this accounts for 10%. So if your team did very well, it helps in your Mr. Football candidate, because obviously you are a big part of your team in helping them have success. Tell me if you disagree with Detroit King, Lansing Catholic, who are state semifinalists, West Bloomfield, first undefeated season in their school history, and Waterford Mott.
That's mine.
For team success, then Detroit King, which is another vote for Donnie Corley. This is his third category that he has won, performance throughout the season. We gave that to Donnie Corley. Level of competition, we gave that to King. Big game performance, we gave that to Donnie Corley.
This is fourth.
This will be his fourth, Team success, that goes to Donnie Corley as well. We want to talk about highly recruited athletes. And this again is at the bottom of the tree here, but it counts for 5%.
I mean, look at Donnie Corley. He has his pick of wherever he can go in the country. I put him at #1, but I won't call that a landslide. I look at Tristan Jackson at #2, and we're talking highly recruited athlete. And Tristan Jackson athletically has offers to play both Big Ten football and Big Ten basketball.
Every single one of our finalists saw their stock on the rise this year.
They really did.
And a lot of big-time programs throughout the season started inquiring about their interest, and I think that's pretty great for all four.
Pretty clear that our Mr. Football for 2015 has been decided. Welcome back to State Champs. Now, throughout the show, we've given you an inside look as to how we determine our Mr. Football champion. All that's left now is for you to meet him. Let's do it. What can you say about the 8th installment of the race to figure out the top football player in the state? For the first time in the competition's history, all of the Final Four candidates were outstanding two-way players. Only one managed to still be playing on the final weekend of the high school football season. 5 catches for over 100 yards just in the second half. But this is the one we will all remember. On behalf of the State Champs Sports Network, it is my honor to award 2015's Hungry Howie's Mr. Football to Donnie Corley Jr.
Amazing accomplishment, just to be #1 player in the state of Michigan. And it's just been going fast. Everything's been coming real fast. I haven't really sat down and really thought about everything that happened, but I'm just very blessed, just to receive this award.
It was a great race. All 4 of the finalists were well deserving had they won it. All big-time players. I think in the end, who King played, how well did Donnie play against those big teams, and of course the catch.
Nearly sweeping the criteria set forth by the State Champs Selection Committee, Detroit Kings Donnie Corley Jr. becomes the first player representing the city of Detroit to win the coveted Mr. Football award. The top player in the preseason lived up to the hype in 2015. Nearly 60 catches and over 1,400 yards this season, Donnie hauled in 16 touchdowns. This against a tough schedule that included 2 wins over regional finalist East English Village, the defending D2 state champs De La Salle in the opener, and also beating the Division I state finalist Cass Tech not once, but twice. But it was also Donnie Corley's playmaking on defense that helped set him apart. 80 tackles and 10 interceptions in 2015.
Donnie was just, amazing on defense. He does some things where that you can't coach. The way he covers, his length, and then outside of that, the intangibles as far as being able to disguise coverages, not letting the defense know what we're in. We are able to do a lot of things with him.
So if Donnie's numbers may not scream at you as the best in the state, consider this. He and others were talented transfers and certainly with individual goals. Collectively, as a team, it was all about simply doing what it takes to win.
They're not going to be able to gel together. People are going to be mad because they're not getting enough passes, thrown to them, not touches. We understand that some games you might not have 2 touchdowns, 10 catches, stuff like that, but you can contribute on defense, you can contribute on special teams and stuff like that. So we never got down on each other and stuff, and that's what made us, champions.
He's very humble, intelligent, and he's giving. And like, you always hear him talk about his teammates. So every accomplishment or award that he, acquired for himself, he feels like it's a team award. So even as Mr. Football, as far as he's concerned, this is his team's award.
A bright future. Donnie Corley spent the early part of this week in New York to celebrate being an All-American and one of the 6 finalists for the National Player of the Year. So what's next? The clock is now ticking on just where Michigan's new Mr. Football will play his college ball. That decision coming soon. Donnie Corley Jr., State Champs 2015 Hungry Howie's Mr. Football.